Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Daycare Q&A Show. My name is Adrienne Bradley and I'm your host. Um, and thank you for joining me here today. Today is, what is it? Wednesday, May 28th. And I got a little overcast today, but you can see I'm in short, what do you call it? Sleeveless, because it's supposed to be like 80 degrees here today in California or in Southern California anyway. So yeah, it's gonna be a hot one. It's already. I guess with the Memorial Day, it's the official start of summer, but it's not real the unofficial start of summer. But it's not really summer, but it's feeling like it really is summer here. I think it's supposed to get cooler um, and not just stay hot, but in California, it's mostly this type of weather, at least where I live anyway. Um, but yeah, so I hope you are enjoying a short week. I hope that you took the Monday holiday off, and I used to love that. I used to love that I got the holiday and then the short week that followed. And it was kind of like, at least that's how I positioned it in my head. It was like a double, a twofer. So I hope you are enjoying a short week and that your Friday comes soon. And even though I know you're having a glorious time with the kids, and yeah, I just hope that you got to have some relaxation this week. So if you are joining me live, first of all, welcome. And please send me some hearts and likes so I can see you. I have my other screen open over here as I usually do so that I can catch whatever because sometimes this dashboard on my desktop doesn't show me everything. But yeah, send me some hearts and likes. And if you are joining me for the first time, welcome. If you are coming back, welcome back. I do this every Wednesday. We have the show every Wednesday here, and I'm going to talk about some things that are changing that I'm really excited about. I've been talking about it for a little while. But anyway, leave me some hearts and likes so I can say hi to you, please. All right. So, what's going on in Thriving Child Universe? So, first of all, this episode is sponsored by the Rise and Thrive Club. That is our exclusive club for childcare providers where we provide resources, access to me as a coach, just the things that I wish I had and that could have helped me throughout my whole journey as a childcare provider. I was a childcare provider for over 20 years, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and you do a lot. And I think you deserve a lot of support. And that's been my mission with Thriving Childcare, and the Rise and Thrive Club is just an extension of that. So please click the link below when you get a chance. Go over and check it out. And I would love to see you inside the club. I would love to help you support you in your childcare journey. All right. Um, oh, so this week I just released a post yesterday. I think it was yesterday. That you should go check out. You really should check out. It's called Burned Out and Still Showing Up: How Childcare Providers Can Spot Burnout and Bounce Back Fast. Um, I know firsthand, myself, people, other colleagues that I were in my network, child care providers, we all experienced it in one way or another. It doesn't always show up the same type of way, right? Um, but I know that I experienced it at least 3 times in the span of me running my childcare business. It's a real thing, and I think, well, at least I can speak for me. It was brought on by not only having to manage all these different functions, running a business, and not just any business, but a childcare business in particular, um, but not having the systems to figure out how to manage it effectively so you don't get burnt out, so that you can get whatever it is, because there's things that have to get done, right? To get whatever it is done, but not to have to, feel drained or want to avoid it because it's going to take up so much of your time. You have to research how to do it again, and all these different things. And so in this post this week, I address um, some of the five top signs of burnout, and then how to recover from it, how to bounce back, basically. Because just like this, just like here on the show, I will usually make this statement that I get it, and I love a good rant, I do, but in general in life, I a rant beats I mean a solution beats a rant for me all the time, 99% of the time. Not to say you don't need to vent, not to say you don't need to get that rant out, and there's plenty of outlets for that, and I'll even do that with my girlfriends sometimes. But more than that, we need a solution so we don't get back to that same place. At least that's what I'm searching for, and I know a lot of you are too. So anyway, check out this post. Click the link in the description below, and it will take you over to the links, and just click on the one for this week's blog post and you'll see it. But it's called Burned Out and Still Showing Up, How Childcare Providers Can Spot Burnout and Bounce Back Fast. Okay. All right. Let's see. And while you're there, go ahead and download the Thriving Childcare Roadmap. That is, I created the roadmap to help childcare providers. That's my dog. I'm going to get to that in a second. I created the roadmap to help childcare providers like you simplify your systems, like I was just talking about, how to fill your program with ideal families, and how to grow your confidence without the burnout. So download that. It's a free download. You'll see it right in the post. Just click on it and download that as well. Inside, you'll get 5 steps on how to clarify your vision for your business, how to streamline your operations, how to attract and enroll more families, and how to scale without stress. That's the big thing, right? We don't need the stress. We just it really prohibits from whatever we're trying to get done when we get stressed out about it. So check that out. Download that. That's right inside the post as well. So check that out and grab your copy today for that. Let's see. All right, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so I have been talking about this for weeks, and I'm still just as excited. That's how you know it's going to be good, right? I'm just as excited to tell you that on this show, on the Daycare Q&A show, we are introducing a new segment. We're leveling up, and starting in mid-June. I was trying to do it this month, but this month flew by, and that's okay. We're still excited about it starting in June, and it's called The Usual Suspects, and what it's going to be is a panel of childcare experts that will be here with me on the show, talking about the issues in our industry, answering questions, giving advice. So it's not just my voice. You're getting a panel of experts, a panel of people who understand your occupation, want to support you. And yeah, so I'm really excited about it. Talking to the panelists now. And basically, it's going to be like a roundtable segment, kind of like on Meet the Press. That's what I'm liking it to, Meet the Press style. And we're going to talk about all these relevant issues and things that are happening that maybe not directly are childcare issues, but they're adjacent to it. In other words, they affect our industry and our businesses. So we're gonna really get into some stuff. We're gonna talk about burnout and breakthroughs and parent drama, and just have a lively conversation that empowers, supports, and encourages you as a child care provider and owner. So I hope you will stay tuned for that. I will continue and let you know as soon as that starts to happen, but it's going to be happening soon because we're almost in June. Might as well say May is over. Today's the 28th. We might as well say May is over. So, anyway, I am really excited about it. But listen, if you think that you would like to join us on the panel and you have a voice that needs to be heard, you're right. And we would love to have you there as a guest show panelist. So you can click the link below and go over and fill out the application to be on the show as a guest panelist. And there's just a few questions to answer. It'll take you like a minute. But do that because, like I said, I'm not the only provider in the room. And that's the whole point of having this panel as well, is to give different perspectives, to give different. I was talking with a friend earlier this morning, and I pointed out something to her that I think she was just too close to the situation to be able to see. And that happens for all of us, it happens for me in my business. You just truly can't see the forest for the trees. You are so close to it, and when somebody points it out to you, you almost feel ridiculous. You feel silly because it's like it was right in front of you, but they could see it because they could be more objective because they are apart from it. They're not as vested in it as the person who has the issue or who is going through it or whose business it is and all of that. And yeah, so I was able to kind of give her that perspective. And she completely agreed. And I think that happens for us in childcare, like I was talking about earlier, how many things we have to as a responsibility to run this business. It is, I never would have imagined it before I started at childcare that all of those things needed to happen and that I needed to make them happen. I mean, who knows? I don't know if I would have gone into childcare if I realized that, but I did. I survived. I learned better ways. I learned a lot. And the other people on the panel and even yourself, this is a place to share those things and support other providers who are either just coming into the field or are struggling. Not everybody has the same gifts and talents. And I believe we're here to share those things that are our personal gifts and talents with people who don't necessarily have those same ones. And then they are there to share theirs. And that's how a community supports each other. At least that's my perspective. So anyway, on the usual suspects, we will be inviting guest panelists, and I would love it if you are so inclined to be one of our first guest panelists. That would be great. So click the link in the description, go over, fill out the application, and let's get you in front of a mic. Okay? All right. Let me see what else is going on here. Okay. So usually in the show, before I get to any questions, I go to the planner, and that is our provider planner and organizer. Behind me is the Stripe version. And if you don't have, well, I'll get to that in a second. If you don't have your planner yet, I know it's almost June, but the planner is undated. If you get it now, you will still get a full year out of it, and you can still use it to plan out an amazing summer, to get ready for the fall, to get a jump on all of those holidays that are coming. So click the link below, go over and check out the provider planner and organizer. And I'm telling you something special. We are having a half off sale starting June 1st. So it's our annual half year, half off sale. So yeah, this is the perfect time to get it. And it's the perfect time to get a jump on all of that stuff I just mentioned, and even the planner season, which doesn't happen until the fall. This is the time to get your planner. Anytime is a good time to get organized. Okay, I should put that in the planner because that's perfect. But anyway, every week, I go to the planner to see if there's an observance that we can use, because in the planner there are these national days that we can use, and that's what I love about this planner. It's not like any other planner. It is full of ways to help you plan out your week, help you plan out your meals, um, help you plan out your curriculum. There's even a weekly check-in to make sure you're not hitting that burnout zone. Um, but there are also these national days, and that's one of my favorite things about this planner. These national days that you can use. They were there. I put them there to inspire different projects, things things that you can do at the childcare, right? So maybe it'll be a project, maybe it'll be an activity, maybe it'll be even a meal or something like that. But I put them there so that we can get stuck in all of the regular humdrum things that we do, and this is there to maybe spark some new excitement for you and the kids. So I'm going every week. I go to today's the 28th. I go to the current week and see what's happening. So we know that Memorial Day just passed. Um, ah, today's the 28th, which is today's Wednesday. On Friday is the 30th, right? Just making sure. Yeah. Friday's the 30th, and that is National Water a Flower Day. So, you got some time before that. Even maybe go to the Dollar Tree, pick up some seed packs, or maybe they have the little seed pods that are already, I think, in pots and whatnot. Um, or maybe you already have some seeds at your childcare already. But why not get the kids to plant a flower? And if you don't have seeds and you don't have plans to run to the Dollar Tree, if you have flowers around your home, National Flower Water a Flower Day, why don't you have the kids help you water your flowers, right? And then talk to them about the growth of flowers. The flowers behind me are not real, but um, you can talk to them about flowers and how they grow, what it takes to make them grow. Maybe you have a book that talks about flowers. That would be great to do on National Flower Day on Friday. Great way to start the weekend. Okay, and the 31st, which happens to be on a Saturday, so I don't know if you're not going to do anything to celebrate National Water or Flower Day. Maybe you can kind of do a pre-celebration for National Smile Day. So what about encouraging the kids to smile more as you greet them in the morning? Today is National Smile Day. Can you show me your best smile? Maybe go over to thrivingchildcareshop.com and download the smile stickers. And on Friday, give the kids a smile sticker and tell them that the following day, Saturday, is National Smile Day. So that would be so much fun. I'm going to look ahead and see if there's any days early next week. Like I said, it will be June. We are already there, y'all. We are in the middle of the year. Okay. Another one of my favorite days. And I'll bet it's one of the kids' favorite days too. So the first is on Sunday, but June 1st is Dinosaur Day. And so maybe the second on Monday, you could talk about how Sunday was Dinosaur Day, and we're going to celebrate today. And pull out the dinosaurs that all of you guys have. I know you have them. I had tons of dinosaurs. And flip them over and notice that the names of the dinosaurs are usually on the belly of the toy. And talk about the different types of dinosaurs. If you're anything like I was, you have books about dinosaurs. You can maybe introduce them to some dinosaurs that they haven't seen before. We've all seen the Brachiosaurus with the big long neck, and we've seen what is it, the Terra, not the pterodactyl, but the one with the big crown. I can't think right now. We all know about those dinosaurs. Those are very familiar. But maybe talk about some of the dinosaurs that they don't know about. Maybe talk about how they feel like the dinosaurs have some type of relationship to birds. Talk about things that they don't know about the dinosaurs. And of course, they're probably going to get the dinosaurs in some battle or something. But that would be a great time to really talk about different dinosaurs that they may not be aware of. All right, so let's get into the questions today. Again, before I stop completely, next week on the first or Sunday, um, all of the planners, the provider planners, are on half price. Half year, half price. They are not dated, so it's not like you're getting a discount on something that you cannot use for the rest of the year. You can use this for the rest of the year and into 2026. So wherever you start, if you start right where I left off in June, you can use it all the way till next June. So don't forget to go over and get your planner early so you don't have to worry about it during rush time, and you can see all of these national days for yourself and plan for them. And yeah, so I wanted to mention that again. All right, now before we get into the questions today, I usually give my usual disclaimer, and I will do that again. First of all, some housekeeping. You saw the dogs are inside. They're going in and out because, like I said, it's a hot day. Um, and the one, he typically will bark at any noise. So if the mailman comes or there's any noise out the front door, I expect for him to bark. I'm just saying that just in case you're in a room full of sleeping children. I want to put you on notice and let you know that that might happen. And it startles me, so it might startle you, and it might startle the kids. So fair warning, okay? The other dog, she's super quiet. She's not going to bark. Even if a burglar comes in, she's not going to bark. All right, on to the disclaimer. So, as I say every week, the questions that I address here on the show are from fellow childcare providers based on issues or advice that they are requesting for their business. I'm I address them based on, like I said, the over 20 years of running my own, excuse me, running my own childcare business, or people that were in my network that went through maybe a similar situation and how they handled it or how they wish they'd handled it. Um, However, but, your business is your business. So if it works for you, that's what the show's here for. Take it, adopt it. I'm really just trying to give you a different perspective, like I was talking about. The panel will be doing to give you a different perspective, because sometimes when you're in the thick of something, you really can't see your way clear to how you really want to handle it. You might react out of emotion, frustration, exhaustion, who knows. And I know that was the case for me, and I would look back on it and say, I wish I'd said this, I wish I had not said that. So that's what this show's here for. It's here to give you maybe, yeah, like I said, a different perspective, maybe before you even go through something. So that if you ever do, and I'm not saying you will, but if you ever do go through something similar, maybe you have this in the back of your mind that you heard here us kind of hash it out as to a better way or a way that you might want to handle something like that. Now, again, that being said, my colleagues, my network, my friends didn't all go through the same issues I went through, and I didn't go through some of the issues that they went through either. So, doesn't mean you're going to go through this, doesn't mean I'm telling you how to handle it. Absolutely not. If you hear something here that just doesn't vibe with the way you run your business or you personally, then take what works and leave the rest. It's probably for somebody else, okay? Don't worry about it. I am definitely not telling you what to do or how to run your business. I wouldn't have wanted somebody to do that to me when I was running my childcare, but I would have loved to hear maybe their perspective, like I gave my friend earlier this morning, something that I couldn't see, or to think about it in a different way, or from their perspective. I've run into a lot of people over the years, in my personal life and professional life, who cannot, they really just don't have the ability to flip it and see it from the other person's point of view. And I think that is really important, especially when you're running your own business and you have these um, interpersonal connections that you have to make with people. I think it's a superpower to be able to take a moment and see it from their point of view. And if you can do that, um, that's an advantage for you, because you can address it that way. And even if you have to say something that they're not necessarily going to um, like, or want to happen, you can address it from their point of view and still get your point across, still get where you need to go, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, but again, if it doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't work for you, disregard, leave it for somebody else. Okay? All right. With that being said, let's jump into some of these questions. We got some good questions. Last week we had some questions I had never heard before, and I'm going to get some water right now. Okay. Sometimes I talk so much that my mouth gets dry. Anyway, last week we had some good questions, and this week we have some good questions as well. All right. So first question, and I'll check my messages. I have to turn my phone around because that phone is so distracting. It just is. I mean, even when it vibrates, it just calls our attention. I think we're hardwired for it now. So I turn mine around. I have my notifications turned off, and yeah. So anyway, all right. First question, Adrienne, what do you do when a parent keeps forgetting to bring supplies like diapers or wipes or extra clothes? I don't want to keep reminding them every week, but I also can't keep covering it myself. Oh, well, first of all, let's address that first. No, 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 no. If you, it's my opinion, if I were having to cover the cost of any of that, diapers, wipes, or God forbid, extra clothes, then that would be on an invoice. Okay? And if it was something like clothes and whatnot, those things would stay. As a matter of fact, I think I'm trying to remember. I think we had a box of extra clothes that we kept at the childcare, and it was either clothes that some children had grown out of, or that were left at the childcare for some reason or something. And I did have some extra clothes just in case the extra clothes in that child's cubby had already gone home. Maybe they'd had an accident, and the parent forgot to bring a set of clothes back, an extra set of clothes back. But just for reference, I used to ask the parents to have two sets of clothes in their cubby. Um, if they were diapering, which most of the kids were, um, when they got down to one sleeve, I would, because I think typically we had two sleeves of the diapers, in the package, in their cubby. And once we got down to the second one, or I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but once we got down to a certain number of diapers left, then we would put on their notes and let them know, give them a heads up before we got down to the last. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, if I was having to cover any of that, then that's got to go on the tuition invoice, because in my handbook it said that they were, and this is what the parents agreed to in their contract, in the handbook, that they were to supply these items. Now, I know some of my colleagues, they actually get the wipes themselves. I think I did. Come to think of, it's me. It was me. I got the wipes myself, and I would mention at the tour which wipes I used, just in case there was any kind of issues, the child had any kind of reaction or something. If they had used these wipes, I put them up on game, and I let them know what wipes I used. I think I got down to just using the water wipes. They weren't. They didn't have the. Yeah, they were. They were. They were just the water wipes, I believe. I believe. But anyway, I let the parents know what wipes I used, and because they already had to bring the diapers, and if they didn't remember the wipes, I mean, I just wanted to remove whatever I had to, and I just made sure that I used my own wipes. Now, that cost went into the tuition. It's not like something that um, it was a business expense. Okay, for me, that's the way I decided to run that. Now, I was mistaken when I said early a few moments ago. My other colleagues, they had the parents bring both the wipes and the diapers, and that was fine. It worked. It worked fine for them. Um, but after I closed my daycare, I thought about it, and I meant to write a post about this too, because I thought about how this could be made easier for both parties, and because I know I had some parents that at one point they were like wanting to bring in like this huge box of diapers. So imagine like a box of diapers you would get at Costco or something like that. And I just didn't have the space to store the diapers. And I know they weren't thinking that. They were thinking they were getting ahead of it, and that would have been great, but I did not have the storage for it. So, and I realized how I should have handled that moment after the fact, but I should have said, "Hey, listen, just leave them in the trunk. Okay, we're gonna get to them next week. I'm gonna need some more diapers." You know what I mean? Instead of dismissing it like they weren't trying to help out in this situation. But I also thought after I stopped running my childcare, I was like, you know what would have been easier is to have them put it on subscription, with Walmart, Target, whatever, and just have it delivered here. You know, not the big, huge bulk order or anything, but whatever storage that I could have maintained. And I really think we were able to have like two sleeves here. Um, but yeah, that would have been something that I suggested at the tour had I thought about it. That they could, if I wasn't supplying the wipes, if I was like my friends and I wasn't supplying the wipes, um, they could have had that delivered. They could have had formula delivered. Think about it. Maybe if it works for you, maybe you have what you probably do have way more storage than I did. Maybe you can accommodate that. And that keeps them from having to think about it, worry about it, forget about it. That keeps you from having to remind them constantly. And maybe if it's something that they start with when they start in your care, then it's one less thing for them to worry about. And I would put it to them just like that. I would say, let's try and make this as easy as possible for you, because you have a lot on your plate, and so do I. So let's make it easy for each other. And if this is something that you want to do, I suggest that you put this on subscription. Back then, when I started my childcare, we didn't have all of that. Subscriptions, and most places like Walmart, Amazon, um, they have subscription services now. So you can put it on 2 weeks, a month, all kinds of things. I Some of the things that I buy personally, that is gonna be on repeat. I just put it on subscription, so I don't have to forget. So I don't forget things like my water filters and things like that. And that would be a good, to me, that would be a really good solution to having them forgetting these things and you forgetting to remind them, because then now it becomes your issue that you need to remind. and you're busy. Like I said earlier, I get it. So maybe try that. Maybe try that. If you're joining me and you have another solution to any of these issues, please drop it in the comments. Let this provider know, hey, this is what works for you. And yeah, let us know. Let us know. All right, let me get to the second question. So it says, hey, Adrienne, how can I market my daycare without spending a ton of money on ads? I'm trying to fill a couple of spots, but I'm on a tight budget. Any tips for low cost or free ways to get the word out? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, first of all, and again, you don't have to use all of these. You can try one this week, one another week. Yeah. But do you have a social media presence? Now, a lot of people like Instagram, other people like Facebook, maybe both, whatever. But do you have a Facebook page? That would be the perfect place to for your business to put an ad and say we have a few spots, limited availability. We have a few spots open, and send this to your friends and family if they're looking for childcare. That's one. Social media. Let your parents be your referral system. Set up a referral system. I've talked about that here on the show before. I've written about it on the blog. You can go over to thrivingchildcare.com and find out how you can set up a referral a program for your program. Let your parents give them some perks to help you get those spots filled. Maybe they have friends or family or coworkers. I tell the story here on the show a lot about one client I had that came from a local business. She worked at a local business, and after enrolling in my program, anytime she would ever hear somebody at her place of business that was looking for childcare, she was sure to get my name out there, to get my business name out there, and tell them they had to call Miss Adrienne. And I wound up getting 8 families from that one referral, from that one client. And so they're your best advocates. They've been in your program. They know what it's like. They appreciate you. And parents pay attention to what other parents have to say, especially when it comes to childcare. So tell your parents that you have some spots open. Put something by the sign-in sheet. Yeah, let them know. If you send out a newsletter, put it in your newsletter that there are a couple spots that are open, and they can get some referral credit for referring someone who winds up enrolling. Another thing you can do, and I've talked about this here too on the show, is to make sure that you are findable on Google. So, do you have a website? And whether you have a website or not, you can claim your business on Google. Best to have a website so people can go see what your program's about. They can get some information that they would initially be looking for when they're searching for childcare. And Google can point them towards you. But go to Google, claim your business on Google, and then put up what I call an ad. And I'll put a link to a free training that I did that you can go watch and figure out how to, and I step you through how to do that on Google. But basically, it's just like a regular ad. They don't call it that. They call it something else, and I always forget what they call it on Google. But you can go put that up and put that you have spots open right now and how they can contact you, and some information up about your program. Keep it brief. People don't like to read long articles about article size ads about our business, but keep it brief. Talk about the benefits, not so much the features of your business, and do that on Google. One other thing you can do, I personally hate Yelp. When I was running my business, I hate Yelp. When I'm looking for a restaurant, it comes in pretty handy. But you can, if you have a Yelp page, you can, is that what they call it, or a Yelp profile or something? Make sure you go and keep that updated. Make sure you ask your clients for testimonials. Ask them to go over and show them how. Show them how to go and leave a quick testimonial on your Yelp page or on your Facebook page or on, yeah, have them do that because people pay attention to that. And it also gives you more of an online presence that Google will point to your business when someone's looking for childcare. So all of those things are free. All of those things are free. You can run paid ads if you have the budget to do it, but I would challenge you, aside from actually the website, you need to invest in your business to have a website, but that's a good investment. All those other things are free. But um, yeah, and get in the habit of keeping those platforms up to date, whether you have a spot or not, because you never know when somebody is going to disenroll, or maybe they move, maybe they're going to age out of the program. You never know. And having that presence online, having that relationship with people online will really benefit you because you're going to need to fill spots other than just this one time. I joke about it, but it's not really a joke. Every child in your program is going to leave at some point. They're not going to stay unless you're running a college, and I don't know about it, right? All right. So try one or all of those things. You don't have to do all those things at once. You don't have to do them all this week, but experiment with each of those ideas for marketing your childcare and get in the habit, like I said, of marketing your business all the time, not just when you are looking to fill spots. Okay. All right. Let me move on because I feel like I'm talking slow. I don't know. Okay. Question 3. What should I do if a child in my care has frequent biting incidents? I've talked to the parents and tried redirection, but it keeps happening. I'm stuck. So I have that issue as well. I know a lot of people too. Sometimes, this happens. And it is quite normal for a preverbal child. I had a couple of children that were just like habitual biters. And it used to freak me out because I had to talk to the parent. I had to, not their, I had to talk to their parent, but I also had to talk to the child that got bit's parent. And it was not a comfortable conversation. You feel guilty. It makes you sick to your stomach when you see the bite mark because that bite mark is distinctive. It really is. It's not something just I told you. I hope that's not the gardener because I'm gonna have to go shut the door. I don't want the dog to go out. But I hope it's not. But yeah. So you might come up against this. You might have to deal with this. I was saying about the distinctive mark. I used to have providers call me and say, "What can I do? What can I do? Can I put ice on it?" Because they didn't want to tell the parent. They didn't want to tell the parent that of the child that got bit because, it was a red mark and the teeth marks were visible. And I'll just let you know. Typically, that was my dog, not me. um, typically, the ice is not going to take away that bite mark. It just isn't. And I don't advocate for you not letting the parents in on what's happening. So, just so you know, the ice probably won't work anyway. But this is one of those things that you really do need to kind of consider before it happens, hopefully, because it can happen. You might want to put some things in your newsletter to say, these things happen. They're quite normal for this stage in a toddler's life. And it also shows that you are an expert in the field. You know the stages of development for the children that you care for and the families that you serve. And maybe maybe do some role play about how you will talk to somebody about this, because like I said, I had it happen to me, and not just once, several times. Now sometimes um, the conversation would need to get more pointed towards the biter, and talking with that family, because I did have an incident where when I brought it up to, and it was one of my first families, so I was really nervous, and I loved this child, and it has nothing to do with that, right? But I loved this family, and they were sweet to me and whatever, but I had to tell him, listen, this is happening, your kid's biting the other kids. And during the course of the conversation, I don't know how or what was said, it was a long, long time ago, but the father revealed that that was kind of the way he played with his son. He would play bite him, and his son would bite him back, and I was, without them thinking about the consequences of what could happen. um I had to point that out to them. Yeah, that's probably not a good game to play. Can we do something else when we're playing with your son? And you could see the look on his face, just like I was talking about earlier, how you can't see the forest for the trees. Like, it was so obvious that that was not a good thing to do. And once he stopped, and once he, addressed it with his son, it did stop. The biting stopped. But so the child didn't know. The child thought they were playing, and that's how we play. You know what I mean? So anyway, um, these happen. These things happen. Um, with one other child, I did have to tell the parents that if the behavior continued, that we we most probably would need to excuse them from care, because I have to my job is to make sure all the children are safe. And if they break skin, I mean, it can just turn into a whole lot of issues. So if they're not addressing it, or if it continues habitually, we were going to have to excuse. But have you thought about that? Come back and leave me a comment. Let me know, how do you handle biters in your program? How would you handle a biter? And what would you say to the parents that, in this uncomfortable moment? And this is not the first and last uncomfortable moment. It may not be about biting, but those conversations sometimes have to be had. You know what I mean? So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on how to handle biters, and yeah, let me know in the comments. All right, let me get to these last two questions. We are pretty much on time, I guess. Um, it says, Adrienne, how far in advance should I start planning for summer enrollment? Do I need to start now, or wait until the season begins? I want to be ahead of the game this year. Now, I don't know if this is an old question from like a month ago or something like that. I'm not sure. But um, as I said at the top of the show, we just passed Memorial Day, so summer's here. It's no more wait until the season. Most parents will be, if they haven't already, looking for summer arrangements for their child. So I would say jump all over this right now. Every way that I just said to market for those open spots with that other provider, do the same thing for your summer program. First, figure out what you're going to do. Are you going to have a specific summer program? Are you going to extend it to school age? Whatever that looks like, figure that out if you haven't already, um, and start talking about it now, because what, next week is June. It's already here. So I would have said in the spring, mid-spring, to start. What would be mid-spring? What do you think? Like the beginning of May, the end of April, something like that, to start getting people to sign up for summer enrollment, and start talking to your current clients. I used to, when I started, I had I don't know if I had more than one, but I know I had one teacher, and so that their work changes in the summer. Typically they don't work, or they have a minimal schedule or something like that. And so my enrollment in my program for their child was year round, so I had to address that with her. And of course it wasn't something she even knew to anticipate, because this was her first child. She didn't realize, oh yeah, what am I going to do? And so I would say, I offered the option of summer enrollment, and there were like three options, I believe, to maintain their enrollment in my program while still giving them a break on their tuition for the months that she was not going to be working. I think I saw somebody come in. Let me see. Let me roll it down. Hi. How you doing? I don't know how to say your name. Ashka Arabi Nabel. Ah, you're from Bangladesh. Hi, thank you for joining me and welcome. I'm glad you're here. Oh, that's so cool. I hope I didn't butcher your name. My name's Adrienne, and people either say it wrong, they definitely spell it wrong the majority of the time. So please let me know if I said it wrong, and I'll try again. But yeah, thanks for joining me here. That's awesome. So yeah, I would start talking about, or I gave my teacher client different enrollment options so that she could maintain her spot, because I explained to them that it's based on the spot. And if you disenroll for the summer, there's no guarantee. I'm gonna try and fill that spot, and there's no guarantee in the fall that that spot will be available to you. So in order to do that in my program, in order to maintain that spot, you did have to maintain some form of enrollment year round. And I did make an adjustment to allow for her to um, maintain an enrollment without, maybe the full-time enrollment that was her typical enrollment. But that was just in my program. I'm not saying you have to do that, but find out, talk to your clients. You never know, maybe they're going to take the summer off and go out of state, out of the country, or something like that. And they already anticipated, without informing you, that they're going to take their child out of the program for the summer. So you do need to start talking about this earlier in the year. But if you haven't, if you're new to this, if get on it right now, right, like this week, like today. Start talking about what you're going to do for the summer, and ask them what their plans are, and to come and discuss with you if they have vacation plans and where, and all of that. All right. So I would say, yes, definitely jump on that now. I'll come back and I will leave a link to the article that I talked about, the summer options that I had in my program, in case you're interested and want to do something similar. If you have that type of situation with teachers or other people who are affected by the school system. But yeah, start talking about that right now. Okay, ask them what's up for the summer. All right. Let me see. Oh, last question. So it says, Adrienne, do I need to have a separate business account for my daycare? You know what I'm going to say, right? Absolutely. I would have said another word there, but I'm trying not to cuss. Absolutely, you do. Absolutely. She says, I've been using my personal account, but wondering if I should separate things now that I'm more established. Yes. Number one, it'll make it so much easier for you when it comes tax time. Trying to separate out personal and business, it's a nightmare. And I know it seems initially like the easiest thing to do is, I have the one account, let me just keep and stay with the one account. But my friend Latrice, she is a coach for childcare providers and daycare owners, and she's one herself. She did a live on Instagram a while back, and where she suggested that you have 5 accounts. Now, I believe, I'm almost certain she was directing that towards daycare directors, because they have to manage funds for payroll and stuff like that. But I would advocate for you to have three. And here's why. Maybe you have an accounts receivable in one account, and maybe you have payable in another account. I mean, I don't know. This is up to you how it works for your business. But let's say you have parents paying in one way, right? Um, Maybe you want to separate your supplies and so forth. I mean, I don't know, but having and it's possible now. Things are different now from when I started my childcare, but it's possible now to have virtual accounts, and some people have a mindset around not wanting that. To have a physical location, maybe you want to have different accounts. I would explore it. It might make it easier sometimes for you to move money around. Um, but definitely have that one business bank account, because you're really not supposed to be managing business money out of a personal account, and vice versa too, by the way. And that can be hard. I understand it can be hard to do, but if you set these separate entities up, then it makes it easier for you to manage it. And it initially, it doesn't seem like that. It seems like the easiest thing to do would be to keep the one account and just operate out of that. But that's not the best way to manage a business. Okay, so I'm trying to give you business best practices. So yes, get that business account. Should not be hard to do. Inside the Rise and Thrive Club, we actually have a roadmap that shows you how to set up a business bank account, and what you might need to set it up. You might need to have an EIN. You might need to have certain things. It depends on the branch or the banking institution. Some of them ask for more than others, but we have a roadmap inside the club that shows you how to set that up. So if you're interested, go down and check out the Rise and Thrive Club, and that's just one of the many things, resources that we have over there to support you in doing that. But yes, you need a separate account. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to end on time this week. Oh my goodness. And that's if I calm down right now and I'll just keep talking. But listen, if you're enjoying the Daycare Q&A show, then I really want to tell you about the Rise and Thrive Club. I want to invite you to our provider-only membership, where you'll feel prepared, supported, and equipped to grow a thriving childcare business without doing it all alone. We have resources there. You have templates and access to me and other childcare providers that want to support you and help you grow the business of your dreams. So click the link below. You can go and join for a 7-day trial. You can click the link in the comments and join for $7 for a 7-day trial. And we would love to have you there. I would love to have you there. So thank you so much. I'm going to try and say your name again. Ashika Rabani Nabal. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. It's more than you know. And until next Wednesday, take care, stay safe, and keep thriving. I am Adrienne Bradley, your host for the Daycare Q&A Show, and I cannot wait to continue this journey with you next week. So until then, keep thriving. See you next Wednesday. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on today's episode of the Daycare Q&A Show. I hope it gave you clarity, encouragement, or even that little push you needed today. If you're looking for more support, tools, and real-life resources to help you grow your childcare business, I'd love to invite you to join us inside the Rise and Thrive Club. It's our member-only community just for childcare providers, where you'll get access to a growing library of done-for-you tools, exclusive training, monthly live Q&A calls, and so much more. And the best part, you don't have to do this alone. So whether you're just getting started or you've been in the game for years, there's a place for you inside the club. You can join us right now at thrivingchildcare.com/join-RTC. I can't wait to see you on the inside. And hey, if you like this episode, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share it with another provider who could use some encouragement today. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep thriving. I'll see you on the next episode.